Good evening, everyone. Welcome. I'd like to call the Hammond Redevelopment Commission meeting to order on this Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025. It is now 4:30. The meeting will begin. Can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence after?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Tomage. Cynthia, can we get a roll call?
Tomage?
Here.
Kubaki?
Here.
Mosley Shelton?
Here.
Myricks? Hopperidge?
Here. For the record, we have 3 present in chambers and 1 by Zoom.
One absent.
Okay, number 3 is declaration of conflict of interest. Number 4, communications.
Commission, we received one communication from an interested party who would like to purchase a residential parcel or parcels adjacent to his home in Hammond. I asked to just refer to staff and we'll keep you updated.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yep. Thank you. All right, number 5 is our minutes dating May 6, 2025.
Mr. President, if there's no corrections to the Hammond Redevelopment Commission minutes dated May 6, 2025, I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Tomage, second by Commissioner Kubaki. If there's no further questions or discussion or correction on the minutes, roll call, please.
Tomage?
Yes.
Kubaki?
Yes.
Mosley Shelton?
Yes.
Myricks? Hopperidge?
Yes, motion passes 4 yes, 1 absent. Okay, brings us to number 6, staff report. Ms. Ann Taylor.
Thank you. The Mayor McDermott last week asked me to prepare an executive staff report. A little different from what I used to do for the commission when I would talk about upcoming city events. He would like a more thorough update on what myself and the department has been doing since the last time we met as a commission, similar to what he does for council meetings. He has his own agenda items. So I'll just update you on a few things, and if you have any questions, let me know. So we have some YMCA bonds closing. This is in regards to their incentive request for the development agreement last year. They were receiving $5 million in bond funding, and those bonds will be closing. This is in regards to the new YMCA in Hammond and also the 2 commercial buildings that the YMCA owns off of 165th. We are helping through the Economic Development Department find new homes for those tenants so the tenants can relocate. The YMCA can demolish those buildings and start on phase 2, which is the outdoor water park. So that is moving forward nicely. 2 weeks ago, our department and a couple of redevelopment commissioners went to the ICSE conference in Las Vegas. That's the retail conference. We were there for 2 days, and we had a booth this time. Among other Hammond information in general, we were pushing 2 developments in Hammond. We have 2 larger parcels that are ready for development. We have 10 acres off of the interstate that is ready for commercial hotels, restaurants. And at the Gateway Station up north here in Hammond, we have 16 acres that are available for transit-oriented development, TOD. So those RFPs should be coming out late summer and fall, so you will be seeing more on those. So it was a great conference, very successful. We made hundreds of contacts there, so it was very good. We have a home builders luncheon coming up in 2 days at the Lost Marsh. Mayor Tom and the Economic Development team will talk about some past and ongoing residential projects in Hammond, specifically the 39 parcels up at Clark Fields and the 28 parcels of single-family homes that will be coming up live auction for Memorial Park. We'll also talk about the past successes at Millennium Estates and Florida Avenue, both of which the commission has been very involved in. So I believe a few of you will be attending that luncheon. In regards to residential there, Cynthia has been working very hard on our redevelopment-owned parcel webpage that we have on Go Hammond now. Since it started, I believe it was April 1st, we've had over 65 requests for redevelopment-owned residential parcels. As a commission, you have seen 2 batches of these requests come before you under communications, and in 2 weeks you will see another batch. So we're working through those now. And lastly, next Thursday, before we meet again, June 12th, there will be a ribbon cutting at a new coffee shop in Hammond. It's just north of Purdue Northwest campus on 169th. It's called 219 Grounds. It's at 1 p.m., and Mayor McDermott will be there to speak, so come on by if you're free. Any questions?
No, thank you, Ann. I'm glad the conference was sound like a success. I saw the pictures, and that was great to have a table. I've been out there several times. So.
Yep, and we're planning to do it again next year. It was that successful.
You just never know what lead you can get from there. You don't think you have anything, then later on something just comes right in.
You got it.
So thank you, very nicely report. All right, if no one has anything for Ms. Taylor, then we'll move along. Number 7 is homebound conditional forgivable loan approval. We have, I think, 2 applicants here right together, Alejandra Santa Cruz and Edgar Munoz at 6820 Ridgeland Avenue.
Mr. President, just real quickly before that starts, I see Mr. Myrex has joined via Zoom, so if we could just note that.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, Cynthia, if you can add him in now. Okay, go ahead,
Good afternoon,
Mr. White.
Commission. We have Alejandra Santa Cruz and Edgar Munez, who will receive the $10,000 forgivable loan to purchase 6820 Ridgeland. She is a Hammond Public teacher, Hammond School City teacher.
Okay.
How'd you hear about the program?
Actually, the loan officer who we're working with told me to reach out to the city of Hammond.
Who was that?
His name's Jesse Placencia with Gold Star Mortgage.
Okay. And who was your realtor?
Her name's Nancy Esqueda.
Okay. Yeah, we have another commissioner. He's on Zoom tonight. He's a realtor, and so.
And were you previous Hammond residents?
Yeah, my mom owns a house in Hammond. Yeah. And we live in Hammond.
Okay.
Perfect. Mr. President, if there's no further questions or comments, I'd like to make a motion to approve the homebound conditional forgivable loan for Alejandra Santa Cruz and Edgar Munoz for 6820 Ridgeland in Hammond. Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Tomich, second by Commissioner Kubaki. Let's have a roll call.
Tomich?
Yes.
Kubaki?
Yes.
Mosley Shelton?
Yes.
Myrick?
He's on mute. You got to unmute yourself, Greg.
Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
We're doing a roll call vote on.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Upridge?
Yes. All right, then motion passes with 5 yes for the homebound conditional forgivable loan approval for Alejandra Santa Cruz and Edgar Munoz at 6820 Ridgeland Avenue. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Commissioner.
That's what 5 yeses. You may be excused if you like, but if you want to stick around, you're more than happy to.
Thank you.
Okay, number 8 is an approval of development agreement between the City of Hammond, Indiana, City of Hammond, Indiana Redevelopment Commission, and CoreWeave Incorporated, 301 Digital Crossroads LLC, and Decennial Group LLC.
Commissioners, in front of you, you have a development agreement between 5 parties that the City of Hammond and with these 5 parties have been working on for over a year now. I'd like to just say a few words regarding the process. Dave Westland will talk about the development agreement more specifically, and then we have the CoreWeave team online, and we have the Decennial team here in person, and we have Scott Miller here as well, who would also like to talk about the project. But yes, we've been working on this for over a year. This is a very impactful project for the city. It's very exciting to be here today to start the process. CoreWeave is an AI cloud computing company. They will talk more about what they do, but they are looking to relocate on a 25-acre parcel up on what we call the data center parcel up north. A new building, 450,000 square feet, will be built at 301 Digital Crossroads Drive. And as you recall, this site used to be the State Line energy plant. It was one of the most polluting energy companies in the country. So once that was demolished, it sat vacant for many years. Decennial stepped up and started building their first data center, and now we are here to look at the second major building up there. We're very excited. If you have any questions during this presentation, please feel free to reach out.
All right.
Dave?
Okay, so, as Ann said, it's the second data center building. Veterans like Mr. Myricks will remember when we did the first data center building. The second one.
Yes, I do.
I figured you would. This second one is at 301 Digital Crossroads Drive, which, if you look at a map, it's, I don't want to call it next door, but near enough to be considered next door. You have hundreds of construction jobs that will be created as a result, and I will leave it to Ann and Scott to talk about the overall investment. But in terms of the guts of the agreement, and I'm sure you've all read every word of the 50-some-odd page development agreement. It's a fascinating read, and I encourage you to, if you haven't read every single word, make sure you do. But the highlights are that with regard to the first data center, there'll be a personal property tax exemption of 100% for 20 years. And in exchange for that, there's a $1 million community impact payment. With regard to Data Center 2, the new building that Ann was talking about, there's a 10-year real estate exemption that is your standard real estate tax exemption that you're familiar with, that reduces 100%, 90, 80, 70 down the line, plus a 20-year personal property tax exemption of 100%. Now, in exchange for that, the city will be receiving a payment of $3 million. So all in all, it's a $4 million payment plus the annual imposed fee not to exceed $100,000. So you can call it $4.1 million the city would receive in this, between the annual payment and then this community impact payment, which I'll let Scott explain exactly what the city's plans for that.
Okay. Welcome. Chief of Staff, Scott.
Yes. Good evening, Commissioners. The city and the mayor's office is very excited about this deal. Just to be clear, the $4 million a year is for 20 years. So that's roughly $80 million coming into the city and some change. What we would like to do, one of the goals of the mayor's office, is to fully fund College Bound with this investment so that we have a identified funding source for the next 20 years for our College Bound program. Council's been wanting that. They've asked us to seek a permanent funding source, and this fits the bill. So we're very excited about this. We ask for the commission's support, and happy to answer any questions between the three of us.
Okay.
Thank you, Scott. Next up, I would like to invite either Rich or Mike from CoreWeave to say a few words. Thank you.
Hey, good evening. This is Mike Terlizzi. I'm Senior Vice President of Data Center Operations for CoreWeave. In that capacity, my role includes the site selection, design, build, and operation of our data centers globally. You can go to the next slide. I assume everybody can see the slide in the room?
We can, thank you.
Great. So as mentioned, CoreWeave, we are a specialized cloud computing company. Our infrastructure is purpose-built for artificial intelligence workloads. CoreWeave has over 1,000 employees. Last year, we did about $1.9 billion in revenue and are expected to double that this year. We were fortunate enough to go IPO just a little over 2 months ago. Next slide. Currently, we operate 33 data centers across North America and Europe. We've delivered about 420 megawatts of critical capacity throughout those regions, and we have an additional 1.6 gigawatts of capacity that is contracted for delivery over the next 4 to 5 years. So our infrastructure is differentiated up and down the stack. So as I mentioned, it is purpose-built for AI workloads. We pride ourselves in being the first to market in the most, with the latest hardware in terms of GPUs, and we deliver them at scale. We're differentiated through our software layer and certainly through our people. And we serve the world's leading AI labs and AI enterprises. So the foundation of all of that stack is the data center. And we are focused on a very compelling and interesting project in Hammond that we can touch on the next slide. So as mentioned, this when we think about roughly a 2 gigawatt or 2,000 megawatt capacity, this project alone is 180 megawatts. This will be a state-of-the-art capacity that is designed to be both sustainable and highly efficient. The project for us, we anticipate this project coming online sometime in 2027. At 180 megawatts, CoreWeave itself will have between 35 and 90 technicians that are working at this site with an average salary range of roughly $75K. That's not including all of the construction jobs that it will take to get this project over the line, or the amount of resources that would be required to operate the site that will be operated under decennial. Again, certainly this agreement with Hammond would provide us a competitive tax and cost structure, in addition to providing the additional revenue as described earlier. But it is contingent upon securing the approval of the Redevelopment Commission, our City Council, and then executing a power agreement between the decennial team and the power company, at which point we will then be able to complete our lease. So we totally appreciate the support throughout this process we received from the city, from the developer, from the power company, from the Redevelopment Commission, and certainly the mayor's office, Mayor McDermott. So thank you for affording us the opportunity to talk a little bit about CoreWeave in this project, and I'm certainly happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mike. Any specific questions for Mike at this time? If not, I'd like to ask Dave to come on up. Dave Pavlik, Decennial. Thank you, Dave. Dave is the presence up there right now and will be the landlord and landowner of this project.
Everybody, thanks for your time. Well, where would you like me to start?
How excited are you for this project?
We're excited. So I was born and raised about 20 miles from here in Chicago. Our headquarters for Decennial Group, which I'm the co-founder of, is based out of Chicago, and this campus is our flagship. We've poured our heart and soul into getting it to where it is today. We were fortunate enough to forge a fantastic relationship with Mike a couple of years ago when they first became a tenant in our Building 1. We love the story of the revitalization of what was really a dirty polluter for a long time, and turning it into a next generation data center. That project, when it kicks off, will be probably one of the 10 largest development projects in the United States, especially for AI, and will differentiate Indiana from really just about everywhere in the Midwest. We couldn't be more excited with the support we've received. We're excited to double down and be a contributor to College Bound, as well as being really, we hope, an upstanding partner and quasi-citizen to Hammond. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you. Okay. Is there anyone else from your team that would like to speak, or, okay. All right. Yeah, it's an amazing state-of-the-art project, so it's going to be a good thing for Hammond here. So if there's no further questions, I'd like to entertain a motion on that.
Mr. President, I'd like to entertain a motion for the approval of the development agreement between the City of Hammond, Indiana, City of Hammond, Indiana Redevelopment Commission, and CoreWeave Incorporated and 301 Digital Crossroads, LLC, and Decennial Group, LLC.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Tomich, second by Commissioner Kabaki. Let's have a roll call then, please.
Tomich?
Yes.
Kubaki?
Yes.
Mosley Shelton?
Yes.
Myricks?
Yes.
Hopridge?
Yes, motion passes with 5 yes.
Thank you for logging on, CoreWeave. Feel free to log off if you'd like. We really appreciate your attendance, and thank you, Dave, for coming from Decennial.
Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, have a great evening.
You as well.
Okay, number 9 is an approval of resolution number 2025-08, a resolution authorizing Hammond Redevelopment Commission to accept conveyance of property.
Commissioners, this is just a step that we need to do. We were getting ready to, we had a signed purchase agreement for Redevelopment Commission to sell a parcel to an abutting landowner. However, in the title search, we saw that the parcel was indeed owned by the City of Hammond. So we just need to convey the property from City of Hammond to Redevelopment to complete the sale.
Mr. President, if there's no further questions or discussion, I would like to make a motion for the approval of resolution number 2025-08, a resolution authorizing the Hammond Redevelopment Commission to accept conveyance of property.
Second.
A motion's been made by Commissioner Kabaki, second by Commissioner Tomich. Let's have a roll call then, please.
Tomich?
Yes.
Kubaki?
Yes.
Mosley Shelton?
Yes.
Myricks?
Yes.
Hopridge?
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Okay, number 10 is a determination of compliance with the Hammond redevelopment plan for Woodmar redevelopment sub-area of Hammond Central redevelopment area for retail buildings at 1812-28 165th Street.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you. I'm Scott Gainey. I'm here on behalf of the developer who we've identified. We have a Black Rock Capital LLC. It's not quite that Black Rock, but it's our version. Redstone is the principal. Red is on his way. I think he may have gotten stuck in the same traffic snarl I did. We both come from I come from Valparaiso, he comes from Chesterton. But I do have my esteemed colleague here, Bill, who you all know, and Bill Hutton, who will be able to give you any detailed information you might like about this project moving forward. But essentially, this is 165th Street property. This is the old Walmart property. And we're going to speak to a need that you have concerning an earlier agenda item, and that is the former YMCA site, because there are some tenants that are in need of a new location, and part of what the development here that we're proposing tonight will address that need. So we are in the, and it's got a really long name here, I'll say it because Brian will scold me if I don't, Woodmar Redevelopment Sub-Area of the Hammond Central Redevelopment Area. I botched that name a few times in my documents, so Brian had me get it right. But essentially it is the old Walmart property. Red and his company partners are purchasing that entire lot. There is another development that will go kind of in conjunction with this development that's a different petitioner that will appear before you that has a plan for the actual Walmart building. And I can tell you that all parties have been working closely with the mayor's office on this and coordinating this development project and working with Mr. Poland and others. And so we feel confident that we've worked to get a proposal before you that we think will meet the area or meet the needs of the district, and we'd like to move forward. We are in a C4 commercial district, and BlackRock is seeking to add capital improvements in addition to the land acquisition of $1.6 million for development of a couple of buildings on new lots. There are going to be a number of approvals. We will have a subdivision approval that will go through Plan Commission. We'll likely have some approvals that will be required by the BZA in terms of developmental variances. But if we get through that process, there will be about $1.6 million worth of capital investment for these two buildings, in addition to the investment for the Walmart building, which will be considerable. And we have estimate of anywhere from 80 to 130 construction jobs associated with development of the project. Eventually, it's hard to estimate right now, but we anticipate 33 additional full-time jobs will eventually be situated on our lots here and within our buildings. Specifically, one of the buildings we contemplate right now, if you look at page 4 of my supporting letter, you'll see some illustrations of Mr. Hutton's work. We propose a standalone 2,500 square foot building at the northeast corner of the property that is initially contemplated for a coffee shop, donut shop end user. So that's kind of the idea, and I think hopefully you'll agree that Mr. Hutton has come forward with a very nice set of plans for that building. And then we have a larger building, 14,000 square foot building on the northwest corner of the property that will be either for a single user or for up to 5 retail restaurant users. We are subject to confidentiality agreements, so I have to be very careful about how far I go right now. But at this moment, we have reason to think that that will be a single user for that building. And so we're allowing for the possibility that it may be up to 5, but at least as I stand here tonight, we think that it'll be a single user that we think will be a good fit within the community. If you do have any specific questions regarding the buildings themselves, I think you'll agree that from the renderings and the elevations that these are first quality buildings that we propose to develop on that site. But Mr. Hutton is certainly here and far more capable than I to answer any of those questions. I have addressed the redevelopment plan specifically whenever I appear before you folks. I actually do go through those documents and read them and pull out some sections. I won't do that for you here tonight, but if anyone has any question of specifically why I think it fits, I'll be happy to address that. But I think that you'll find within the context of the plan that was approved that this is precisely what we're looking for, and we'll add some vibrancy to that area, and we'll give some needed relief in finding some homes for some tenants that were recently displaced. And if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer any of those questions.
No, I agree, Mr. Yaney. This property, I'm not saying it's long overdue, but this is going to be a great project here. I'm glad to see this shedding some real light here for this.
Yeah, likewise.
And you do have businesses and merchants that have expressed interest?
Yes.
And committed to come, you just cannot disclose who they are. Is that correct?
That's correct. For the main building, yes. And then I know there are discussions ongoing with the existing tenants from that are interested in coming over next door. We'll see where they get situated. They may be in the other building that I was talking about, the former Walmart. There's kind of a series of uses that are contemplated for that building, including an intensive job supplier eventually. But that will be for that petitioner to give you all some detail on that.
Yeah, anytime we see brick and mortar, I'm very pleased.
Also, it's going to break up, this site was developed for Walmart, and, it was before we had the parking island requirements and some of the things now that we like to see in these types of developments. It's going to break up and really change that expanse of asphalt over there, right? And it will make it a much more pleasing center to visit that should help the surrounding businesses as well.
I'm trying to picture this. Is North Shore one of the buildings that you'll be relocating?
No, they will stay.
Okay.
They will stay in they've got to talk to Brian about this. There's a strange configuration that happened a few years ago, but they bought space essentially within the Walmart building, and they will stay there.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, yeah, we'll hopefully kind of help them out a little bit too and give them some neighbors and some vibrancy and really dress up the entire area.
All right, thank you, Scott.
Okay, thank you.
If, I'm not sure if Mr. Hutton would like to add any comments before I turn it over to Mr. Brian Poland.
Not at this time, but I do reserve the right.
All right.
Get off C-SPAN. Sorry.
Okay, then we'll bring up Mr. Brian Poland to give his overview of the project.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Attorney Yaney did an excellent job in his presentation.
Yes, I was very pleased with the handout. Thank you.
Yes, I wish all of our petitioners would be as thorough. So I'll just kind of skip down to the reference on the redevelopment area. Attorney Yaney did make reference to it, but the Woodmar redevelopment sub-area was originally created in 2005 when the Hammond Central area was created in 2012. That was incorporated into those boundaries. So the document that we're referencing is the 2005 document. And so in the report that you have before you, there is a reference to what I thought were applicable goals and objectives that address how this project is going to be in compliance with the goals of the plan. The 2005 Woodmar plan did not really have any regulations on the exterior materials that we do see in some of our later plans, but what they are proposing are basically masonry buildings, and that is something that we typically want to see in new construction. So, we're very pleased with that. And that does address one of the criteria, or one of the goals and objectives that I pointed out is improve the appearance of the structures in the buildings and right-of-ways for high standards of development design. So we think that they've come across or presented a good product as to how the building will look. The other important thing to note about building design is that is it in the same character of the buildings around it? And obviously with commercial buildings, you have a variety of architectural styles and materials, but this is, within keeping of what you commonly find in that Indianapolis Boulevard, 165th Street corridor or Woodmar Mall corridor. We are expecting a subdivision. There's some, technicalities that are going to have to be addressed to the Plan Commission on that. We looked at preliminary site plans, and we've identified some potential variances that will have to go through the Board of Zoning Appeals, and we'll work through those details as we continue the discussions as the plans evolve and work through those details. So staff recommends that the Redevelopment Commission make a determination that the two proposed retail buildings are in compliance with the goals and objectives of the redevelopment plan for the Woodmar redevelopment sub-area of the Hammond Central redevelopment area, subject to 1, the finalization of construction plans, 2, the completion of the Plan Commission approval of the re-subdivision, 3, any approvals of the yet-to-be-determined approvals by the BZA, and any technical corrections to the project's plans and specifications.
Okay.
Questions?
Thank you, Mr. Bowman.
Okay.
If there's no further questions or discussion, then we'll once entertain a motion on,
Mr. President,
Subject to
I'd like
those.
to make a motion to approve the determination of compliance with the redevelopment plan for the Woodmar redevelopment sub-area of the Hammond Central redevelopment area for retail buildings at 1812 to 2865th, with the staff recommendations, the finalization of the construction plans, the completion of the plan commission approval of the re-subdivision, the approval of any yet-to-be-determined approvals by the BZA, and any technical corrections to the project plan and specifications.
Second.
okay, thank you. Motion then's been made by Commissioner Tomich, second by Commissioner Kabaki. Let's have a roll call.
Tomich,
Yes.
Kabaki,
Yes.
Mosley Shelton,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Uppridge.
Yes, motion passes with 5 yes. All right.
Thank you.
Number 11 is an approval of deed of dedication for real estate commonly known as 1136 adjacent Moss Street, Hammond, Indiana.
Could I ask you also to bring up 12?
You want 12 now instead?
Yeah, it's very related.
Okay.
Put them together.
They're basically, they're really.
They're the same.
You want to do them together or
Yeah, do it
just do
together.
12 first?
Well, I mean, they're both
Okay.
very similar if you,
Okay.
I'm trying to be
Yeah.
efficient.
Let me just read number 12, and then we'll do them together. Thank you. Number 12 is an approval of deed of dedication for real estate commonly known as 1139 adjacent Cleveland Street, Hammond, Indiana.
So, as was mentioned earlier, with Cynthia's help and other members of the department, we're going through, or we have the website out for all the residential properties that we're offering. And when we start looking at the details of them, which is what I love to do, is look at the details of them, I noticed that on these two situations, the 1136 adjacent Moss Street, 1139 adjacent Cleveland Street, they're literally back-to-back from an alley. So, and they abut Reverend Burns Drive. And for whatever reason, when Reverend Burns Drive was created in, I believe, the 70s, it was originally an alley. And in order to make the street wider, they literally took the first lots that were abutting that alley, and they were incorporated or dedicated as streets, except for these two. So there's a street constructed on them already. It's literally the whole lot that is abutting the street that we already see as a street, but the ownership of that part of the street is on the parcel. And so the whole purpose of this is to dedicate out both that area that is actually street, and then what is left over is going to be the lot that we can offer to someone to develop it. One of them I think can be attached to another parcel that's adjacent to it. One of them, I think, the one in Cleveland, I think is going to be kind of an orphan 25-foot parcel, so that's, maybe available for the neighbor. So those are the details that are going to work out. But this is literally to straighten out the definition of the property, to dedicate it as a street, and then just kind of clear up this whatever didn't happen properly, 40 years ago.
It's a good cleanup.
Clean up, yes.
Genius.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
Can we make a motion together, Brian, on these?
Yeah, you could just read both of the addresses.
Okay. Mr. President, if there's no questions on number 11 and number 12, I'd like to make the motion for the approval of the deed of dedication for real estate commonly known as 1136 adjacent Moss Street and 1139 adjacent Cleveland Street, Hammond, Indiana.
Second?
Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Tomich, second by Commissioner Kabaki. Let's have a roll call then.
Tomich,
Yes.
Kabaki?
Yes.
Mosley Shelton?
Yes.
Myricks?
Yes.
Poppers?
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Okay, number 13 is an approval of an agreement to purchase real estate for real estate commonly known as 826 Willow Court.
Commissioners, this signed purchase agreement is before you. It is with Jose Flores Rangel and Cecilia Centeno. They would like to purchase 826 Willow Court. They would like to add this on to their home at 828 Willow Court as a side yard. The purchase price will be $1,700, and we're just asking for your approval.
Okay, Mr. President, if there's no further questions or discussions, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the agreement to purchase real estate commonly known as 826 Willow Court.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Kabaki, second by Commissioner Tomich. That's the approval of agreement to purchase real estate for real estate commonly known as 826 Willow Court. Let's have a roll call.
Tomich?
Yes.
Kabaki?
Yes.
Mosley Shelton?
Yes.
Myricks?
Yes.
Poppers?
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. All right, brings us to number 14, our bills, register of claims.
Mr. President, if there's no questions about the register of claims for the Redevelopment Commission, I'd like to make a motion for the approval with the claims beginning dated 5/16/25 and ending with claims dated 5/28/25, claim number R67191 through R6722, 4 inclusive.
Second?
Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Tomich, second by Commissioner Kabaki. That's the register of claims dating May 16, 2025 through May 28, 2025, claim R67191 through claim R6722, 4 inclusive. Is there any questions or concerns on these claims? Okay, then roll call, please.
Tomich?
Yes.
Kabaki?
Yes.
Mosley Shelton?
Yes.
Myricks?
Yes.
Poppers?
Yes, motion passes with 5 yes. Okay, number 15 is new and unfinished business. Are there any items tonight?
Not at this time.
Okay. Number 16 is public comment. I will open that up now. Public comment is open. Public comment is open. If anybody would like to come forward and speak, you may do so. We'll give you 3 minutes. Okay, then, going once, going twice. Public comment is closed. Public comment is closed. Public comment is closed. Can we get a number 17?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Can you all signify by aye?
Aye.
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 Ayes have it. Meeting is adjourned.